Recently, I visited a school to work in a coaching capacity with a small group of fellow teachers. Now, many professionals get observed by their managers, but teachers notoriously get observed a lot. In this case, though, my plan was to do some peer observation through filming and analysing lessons in a safe and supportive context. No judgment, just an opportunity to reflect and develop. It sounds simple, right? But I've come to know what will happen when I begin this kind of developmental work with teachers. The same difficulties show up every time. And sure enough, they showed up at this school too. Here's what happened. At the very thought of someone observing her lesson, one teacher cried. She cried because her experience of lesson observation had only ever been a judgmental one. Her experience was that the people who had visited her lessons over the years had come purely to make an assessment on the standard of her teaching. Observation had always happened as part of a dating collector endeavour. Now, I'm used to this release of emotion from teachers who suddenly discover the concept that a lesson observation could be conducted with the intention of helping you, supporting you, nurturing you to grow as a classroom practitioner. I'm used to there being some tears, so I always bring tissues and tea and cake. But that's not the only typical reaction I see during a coaching programme. Another teacher responded to the prospect of lesson observation by rolling out a tried and tested lesson that he confessed afterwards he'd already taught 4 times over the last 4 years, every time someone had come to watch him teach. It had always gone down well with observers. It was a safe bet. And a third teacher, so anxious was she about appearing perfect for a lesson observation that she bought a new outfit and had her hair professionally styled for the occasion of her lesson being filmed. When I work in the classroom with a teacher, I welcome imperfection because if things are going wrong, I know that the teacher is trying something new. In fact, teachers need to receive this message from their leadership teams. When you're trying something new, expect it to go wrong the first time. Get to the 4th time. That's when it's really going to go well. Because by the 4th time, your learners have accepted and understood the strategy. It's no longer strange. It's become a natural part of their learning routine. The trouble is, the culture of judgment in most schools is not allowing teachers to be vulnerable enough to even get to the 4th time. Teachers need to have space to be vulnerable. I have the huge privilege of working with thousands of amazing individual teachers. And one of the things I've come to realise is that teachers with the smallest egos are the best kind of teachers. Why? Because rather than just assuming that their teaching is having the desired impact, they are continually checking, is what I'm doing working? What could be working better? How might I need to adapt? Unfortunately, we don't foster small teacher egos. In fact, we train teachers to dread observation as if it will label you either a great teacher or a bad one. We're fostering a collective fragile ego that seeks to defend its position as competent rather than explore an infinite potential for growth. What we need to do is create an ethos where lesson observation is sought out by teachers. What we want is for teachers to be saying to their line managers, "Oh, you're offering to come observe me? Great. Please come see me with my worst class on Friday last lesson, because that's where I most need help and that's where there is most potential for me to develop." Let's create a culture where teachers can see themselves, not their institution, as the main beneficiary of observations. A culture where it no longer feels like professional development is done to us, but instead is done for and with us. A culture where teachers no longer fear making mistakes, but Rather accept that mistakes are an essential part of growing and developing. So how do we do it? Well, here are just 6 of many practical ways we can begin to rewire the way we treat teachers. First of all, if we're responsible for carrying out lesson observations, we can present the process like this. This lesson observation belongs to you. How can I help you by observing your lesson? What would you most like feedback on? Feel free to come talk to me during the lesson if you want to. Feel free to try out new things, because if anything goes wrong, we'll just have a good old laugh about it afterwards and then troubleshoot the problems with some new ideas. Even the world's greatest teacher can keep improving. Okay, secondly, signs on classroom doors can quickly foster a culture where developing rather than showcasing is the most valued approach. This sign, for example, sends a clear message of, I'm trying something new. How about you? We can follow this idea of continuous improvement right through to school leaders who might like to display their current development focus on their office doors. Number 3, instead of conducting impromptu drop-in lesson observations or learning walks, how about carrying out treasure hunts? With a treasure hunt, the responsibility is on the observer to find something that's working well in each classroom. This treasure hunt might result in a celebratory display in the staff room where notes about the treasures observed or even photographs can be exhibited. Something as simple as this shift in the way we characterize drop-in observations can rewire the way we experience them, dismantle the perception of being checked upon, categorized, or judged. What else can we do? Well, number 4, we can stop setting vague, overarching targets for teachers, and we can allow them to identify one small aspect of their practice that they want to improve, and then select one technique to master that will move them forward in that area. Number 5, how about creating a staff share board? A shared space where teachers can post about problems they're having and request suggested solutions. The great thing about staff share boards is that school leaders who teach can set the ball rolling by confidently declaring a problem they encounter in their own teaching and inviting supportive suggestions from less experienced colleagues. And finally, number 6, prepare a scarecrow directory. This is where you start from the premise that every teacher in a school has their own unique area of expertise. In other words, they are each outstanding in their field. This information is then collected in a directory, so everyone knows which colleague to go to for advice on that aspect of teaching. So, let's get rewiring. Let's remember that our teachers are our children's role models. If teachers feel they can ask for help, learners will ask for help. If teachers have nurturing relationships with their managers, learners will have the same with their teachers. If teachers can enjoy striving to improve their practice, learners will enjoy striving to improve their work. If teachers can feel brave enough to take risks and innovate, learners will feel confident to try new things. And if teachers know that something going wrong does not make them a failure, then our children will know that learning from mistakes is the fastest way to improve. It's time we rescue our teachers from feeling like they'd better just stick to showcasing their best bits. It's time we uncage our teachers.